So here's something that I've been doing that I wanted to share about today. I wanted to talk about spinning fiber blends. So this is a blend from Wildwool Farms, and it's got some silky fiber content to it. I'm not sure exactly of the blend. This was a sample of something that she gave to me along with an order that I had put in. Turns out she's local, so I'm able to meet up and pick things up from her and kind of chit chat and hang out. And she asked me if I wanted to try some of her different blends. So these are really, really beautiful. And you can approach spinning a blend like this in many, many different ways and get a different result every time. Sometimes it's hard to tell, so it's great to sample. So that's just what I've been doing right now, is just trying a few different things. So I took just the regular fiber blend, and the first thing I did was I spun a lofty single with it. So this came out really soft and fluffy, as low twist as I could get while it would, stay together on the wheel. And then when I set it, I did, I went from hot water to cold water back and forth a couple times. And then I also kind of, just kind of messed it up in the hot water a little bit, almost a little too much. I did overfelt it a little bit in places, but once it's dry, I was able to peel it apart, and it, would be completely fine and usable. But this came out really neat, super soft and lofty. I wasn't sure, because I still need to look up the content of the fiber, the silkiness. I wasn't sure how well it was going to felt, so that was definitely an experiment for me to see how that would come out. But I actually really enjoy this yarn. I think it's a great way to get a lot of yards per pound out of something like this. And my second yarn, the second one I did is this one, and this is kind of a lightweight, maybe fingering to sport, a 2-ply. And what I did with this one is I spun from the fold. So when you have a blend like this and you're spinning, from the end of the fiber, what you're doing is you're pulling out individual fibers and then twisting them together, right? So you're going to end up homogenizing the color a bit when that happens. So if you want to preserve some of that striping and some of the separation in colors, you can go from the fold. So you're spinning from like a staple length of fiber, and instead of coming off this way, you're coming off this way. And so you're taking the separate layers almost apart. So with a really fine yarn and a blend where the colors aren't that far off from each other, what I do have is just a little tiny bit, you can see in the barber polling, of where some of the purple and the whites were separated. So this is just a way to get a little bit more variation out of something like this, because if I had spun it from the end of the fiber, it would have blended down even more, I think, than this. And that's another choice you can make. Probably not one I would choose. I like some variation in my fiber. I like some color change and some shift and some barber pulling and some interest. I really like my hand spun yarns to look like they were hand spun and unique, So something else I did with this, my last sample that I did is I did another 2-ply, a really squishy kind of overplied 2-ply. But for this one, pardon me, for this one, what I did is I made some rollags on the blending board. So I used this as probably like 75% maybe of the blend. And then I added in a few colors. You can see a little bit of purples and kind of a tan color and a little bit more silk. And this, with just that little bit of addition to the fiber, it came out with these really interesting pops of color throughout. And this is a yarn that I would knit a sweater out of this. This is really fantastic and fun. So you don't have to leave your blend as is when you receive it, when you purchase it. Sometimes I've had like a subscription box or something where I get a blend and I'm not as fond of the colors. So I would do that. I would kind of take it apart or add to it just by, you can do it very kind of subtly by just exaggerating what's already in the fiber. Look at, some of the purples or the dark colors and add a little bit more of that in sections on the blending board. Or you could even go more contrast and add something that would pop a little bit more. So this is the rollag that I ended up with. And yeah, this one came out really, really fun. So these are my 3 different yarns, and this is a fiber blend called Grapevines by Wildwool Farms, and they're on Instagram, and they have a website that you can order from. She just recently had done a really cool pre-order where I was able to get excuse me, a really good deal on some fibers by the pound. That was really exciting and cool. So anyways, I have a couple more things from her that I'm going to try out in the next few weeks and kind of show you what I'm working with. But this is really fun. So I'm going to, if I can find out more about the blend of fiber, I'll post that maybe underneath the picture on Instagram. And yeah, this is what I've got so far. Love it.